We have this news story that I think plays into this. Bud Light Brewery is laying off hundreds of U.S. workers. Well, I'm kind of sad for these people, but at the same time, if you've been working at Bud Light, where over the past 4 months this controversy has been going on, you had to know this was coming. Not only that, but several bottling plants had already laid off hundreds of people. So y'all should look, if you work for Bud Light, I would only say I would be surprised if you were not trying to find another job because they are firing people. But this is a sign that the old guard and the gatekeepers are failing. They are losing out. Get woke, go broke. And we're starting to see the inverse with Sound of Freedom, for instance. Mm-hmm. There is an inverse to get woke, go broke starting to emerge. And that is, don't be woke, make money. Or however you'd phrase it. I don't know. Someone can come up with something catchier.
Stay based, get laced.
Get laced?
No, thank you.
Rain.
Get paid? I don't know. Yeah, something like
We'll
that.
let the chat take care of
Stay
this.
Yeah,
based.
chat, guys, think of something that's the inverse of this, because this is what we're seeing. Now, we were just talking about, Donald Trump is getting indicted. And I was saying this earlier. People are like, what do we do? How do we win? We're watching this corruption. I'm like, they're going the wrong route. Going this procedural route to try and win a culture war is a losing battle. Yeah. And we should all know this because it's what Republicans were doing in 2016. Democrats were going to the media, they're going to TV, they were lying, cheating, and stealing. They were pushing false narratives, Russiagate, etc., to shape the minds of individuals in this country. They controlled institutions. They were censoring information on media. They knew culture comes first, then politics. Now what do you have? You have the Biden DOJ protecting Hunter Biden with this insane plea agreement they tried giving him, indicting Donald Trump again, and we got SBF getting his charges dropped. Not all of them, but how convenient. You give Democrats money, you don't go to jail, I guess. But I don't think that's going to play very well, because if the influence that is generated in culture is coming from the likes of Angel Studios, if the products they're buying are no longer Bud Light, if they're not watching Fox News even or CNN anymore, they're coming to other places.
Yeah, it's not like they just stopped.
Right, exactly.
They're going somewhere else.
Exactly. And that means eventually Democrats aren't going to be able to pull this stuff off. They're going to slowly start losing political power because they're trying to win by writing laws or utilizing government, which I've been saying a long time doesn't work. Republicans keep trying to do that. Doesn't work. Great example. You've got on the books laws preventing adults from engaging in lewd and lascivious acts with children. These laws have been on the books forever. West Virginia, for instance, has it plain as day. Yet the police allow children to be part of lewd and lascivious shows at adult venues, child drag performances, all ages drag shows that are explicit.
Because the law has to be enforced.
The police won't enforce it, though, because of the culture. Mm-hmm. Because we're at a point, or we were, where you have these, you had this show where it said it's not going to lick itself, and there's kids there, and the cops go, I'm not getting involved in this. Even though it is illegal, discernibly codified, the cops won't do anything about it because the culture is fractured and there's no clear winner. The police are only going to do what they think the majority would support. If Sound of Freedom is winning, if Angel Studios is winning, if shows like ours, if Cast Brew Coffee is winning, if Bud Light is failing, eventually people are going to say, I'm here to be on the winning side. Law enforcement's going to come out and be like, we're going to go arrest the person breaking the law. It's illegal for unmarried women to skydive in Florida on Sunday. Is a cop going to arrest a woman who skydives on Sunday? Of course not. Why? It's illegal because the law actually doesn't matter. What matters is what police are willing to enforce. So if we win the culture war, then the police are going to enforce what the people want enforced.
Yeah, I think it's true. I mean, the part of government is the consent of the people, right? So if you disagree with law, not only can you fight it, but also your town can start to say, like, this doesn't make sense. I mean, there are all kinds of old laws on the books. The skydiving in Florida one might be an example of things that we would not allow or accept. I believe there's a town in Connecticut where the husband's allowed to beat his wife on the town hall steps during the day, and that never got repealed. It's just there. Wow. Now, if this happened, we would all be appalled. Like, we know some things are wrong, and I can't say why that one was on the books ever, but so much of what we do is just choosing to say, like, I'm not going to give into this anymore. And again, I think it's important to go back to the fact that for a long time, you'd get these things, companies doing something you didn't agree with, but there were no alternatives, right? Like, I remember, I can't even remember, like, if you wanted to boycott a shoe company. Well, that shoe company is also owned by this company that's also doing
Right.
this. And like we saw this a little bit with Bud Light, that, you know, some people were like, well, I'll buy this one. And it actually is all under the Anheuser-Busch umbrella. So maybe we give credit to the internet here for being active and alerting people to sort of the network of companies. But it is really interesting to see people actively seeking out change and reviewing like what they're being told to do and saying, I don't want to anymore.
I think it happens. It doesn't happen at once too. It'll happen like probably like a 7-year lag. You make a movie that changes like a 9-year-old's mind, and then when they're 16, that's when the power
Yes.
begins to shift.
Yes. Absolutely.
Do you guys see that with your own
Yes.
kids?
Well, yeah, totally. And that's the reason that we started this, is because we could see that this was a long game, right? Like the way that we were going to actually change the world for our children and for their children was by not by going and coming here to DC and lobbying and fighting over red and blue politics, but it was just in our home
Yeah.
with our kids, telling really great stories that help them understand true principles.
When the Dark Knight Rises came out, I was at CPAC that year or sometime around there, and I remember sitting in on this panel discussion and them saying, you know, if you're conservative and you want your children who are interested in politics to make a difference, you actually shouldn't send them to DC, you should send them to Hollywood. And I wish I could give credit to whoever said that. I've forgotten the panelist's name at this point. But it's interesting because they're basically making the point 10 years ago, and you guys said Angel was founded in 2013, that you guys ultimately proved, which is like, if you want to redirect culture, you need people who have those values in a position to make that content. I mean, it's, we know a lot of people who are creative and who have ideas, but I don't remember who was on the show talking about the infrastructure behind movie production, like all the things you need to rent and the film equipment. Like there has to be stepping stones to build this, and ultimately you guys have proven redirecting the energy is the
And
important
Steve
thing.
Jobs says that the most powerful person in the world is a storyteller. Yeah, that he's famous for that statement. And you can see this with Sound of Freedom. Alejandro Monteverde goes, and Mexican guy, grew up, was affected by cartels.
His dad and his brother were murdered
by a cartel, and he builds this movie and this story to help unite and to fight this issue. And Neil was just telling me last night that some bill in, what state was it?
I think it was Wisconsin
Or something, like a local legislator put up a bill that's called the Sound of Freedom bill, and they're changing laws because of this film. And
There was a law enforcement officer down in Texas who, after watching the film, started classes in their community, and they're teaching teenage girls what signs to look for, how pedophiles attack through social media.
those classes are happening all over, like
Classic
churches.
QAnon right-wing extremism, just raging
Protect
on.
your family, yeah. I
Look
saw
out
that
for predators, crazy stuff.
they showed it at Congress, I think, Sound of Freedom yesterday, is it?
Tuesday night.
Yeah, and
it
both
was
sides showed
bipartisan.
up.
Donald Trump's made a comment that he wants to give traffickers the death penalty, women as well as men. I wonder, I mean,
That's Donald's idea.
Yeah, I'm not, I was like, geez, why does he keep jumping to the death penalty? I don't want to derail if you guys don't want to talk about Big D. I mean,
Here, look, traffickers, people that rape kids and sell them probably deserve death. But the death penalty, I think the statistics are they get it wrong like 4% of the time. Like
Too much.
4 out of 100 people
Yeah.
are innocent. And so it's not a practical solution, in my opinion.
I completely
That's my
agree.
opinion. I don't,
Yeah, I
I don't
agree.
see, like, I believe they deserve it. But if you can't practically make that happen without,
Like if you were trying to protect a kid who is about to be attacked by someone, use whatever force you can to save the life of that child from the person committing the crime, right?
Yep.
If we've captured someone and Kamala Harris walks up to me and says, see that guy over there, he deserves death, I'm going to be like, I don't trust you, lady. I mean, that guy may be evil for sure, but
yeah.
man, I'm not going to sign off on Kamala Harris's request. I know she's the worst example I can think of, you know, when it comes to who would be advocating
Right,
for
but
the
you
death
have,
penalty.
but once the power's there, you got
It's
to
gonna
think
be
of the
her.
worst person.
Right.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I am grateful that Trump is entering the discussion. It shows how powerful this movie has been, that Donald Trump is entering that discussion and participating.
And he had his own screening, right?
Yeah, but I mean, we've got, you wouldn't believe, like, it's not just Republicans that are asking for screeners of this movie. Like, everybody's
Oh,
asking
else?
for
Name
screeners.
names.
No, look.
I want to know.
There are leftist publications that are saying QAnon and stuff. The Guardian did it, but the corporate press critic reviews are still what, like 75%?
Yeah, I think it's down to 70 now. It just slowly gets chipped away at. But there are people on both sides of the aisle that are very powerful, and state leaders all over the world, like asking to see this. For example, tomorrow we're flying to El Salvador.
Yeah.
And we are meeting with
Bukele
Oh,
to
nice.
premiere the film.
But
Oh, that's fantastic. He's great.
He's public. I can say that one. But there
But
are
who else?
Name
them all.
you would be amazed, and I'm hoping that some of them, when they watch it, because they're watching it to
And we're
see.
talking, not that they're going to be on this live stream, but if they are, or somebody who is, we are hoping that one of them will speak up.
Speak up. Like just stop this ridiculousness. Everybody who's seen this movie knows it has nothing to do with politics and it has nothing to do with conspiracy theories.
To be the most bipartisan issue, stopping child trafficking.
And it's just a true story.
But this is what I keep saying. Law and Order SVU is on the air for 20 some odd years. I think it's still on the air, right?
Yeah.
It's a very, very popular show about law enforcement trying to protect victims of sexual abuse. You guys acquired a movie and distribute it, and they're so desperate to attack it. It's insane.
Yeah, but I think you're hitting a point here. And Russell Brand, when he covered Sound of Freedom, he covers this point. I think there's like I've been just racking my mind. Why on earth is everybody is the left attacking this so hard, specifically the left? And I came up with 4 theories. The first one is Russell Brand's, which I didn't come up with. He came up with it. He just said, this is a model coming out of left field. It's completely bypassing all the Hollywood gatekeepers. They hate it. And they hate it so much that they hate this model and the fact they can't control it because they have their oligopoly, that they would rather attack the model with these conspiracy theories and just forget about the fact that the message. Number 2, there's groups of people who are so partisan that when the dog whistles come out, they just say, my team's on this side.
So therefore I can't watch it.
Yeah, there's a cognitive dissonance where they're not weighing, this is millions of kids being trafficked versus my partisan politics.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.